You ever wake up, look out your window, and realize your own land has apparently joined an HOA without telling you? Yeah, that was my Tuesday morning cars parked across my field, strangers sipping coffee like they paid rent, and one bright blue sign politely informing the world my property was now community overflow parking. I actually laughed at first, figured I'd stumbled into some prank, but the longer I stood there, the more it hit me. Nobody was joking. See? I bought that land for one simple reason: peace. No HOA, no committees arguing about mailbox colors, no Karen with a clipboard telling me how tall my grass could grow. Just open space, quiet mornings, freedom. That was the deal. Until it suddenly wasn't. At first, I tried to be reasonable. Walked out, waved at a woman sitting in her SUV, sunglasses bigger than her face, asked politely what was going on. She lowered the window like I'd interrupted royalty and said real casual, "Oh, this is HOA, overflow parking when the clubhouse fills up." I remember blinking, once, twice, then pointing at the ground. This is my land. She actually looked confused, not embarrassed, not apologetic, confused, like I'd just claimed the sky belonged to me. Said, the HOA told homeowners this space was part of the community greenbelt. And that's when the irritation started turning into something hotter, because it wasn't just cars. Once I started looking, I saw tire tracks cutting across my field, joggers using my trail like it was public property, and I swear a family having a full picnic about 50 yards from my porch. Blanket sandwiches, a cooler, the whole Norman Rockwell situation, except they were trespassing. I approached, kept my voice calm, told them this was private property. The guy in an HOA polo shirt barely paused mid-bite. Said the neighborhood had always used this space. Said it like history somehow erased ownership. Then I saw the map. Printed, laminated, nailed to a wooden post. A neighborhood map labeling my entire property Oak Ridge Community Green Space. My land, my taxes, my liability, their park. That was the moment the conflict stopped being annoying and started being personal. So I went straight to the source, Karen, HOA president, self-appointed queen of Oak Ridge Estates. Walked into that clubhouse office without knocking, dropped the map and parking sign on her desk. She smiled that polished, fake leadership smile, you know, the one equal parts customer service and passive aggression. Called it a misunderstanding. Said the community had enjoyed the land for years. Then she hit me with legal jargon, prescriptive easements, community benefit, shared access. Delivered it like she'd rehearsed in the mirror. Problem was, I knew the law better than she expected. I explained calmly that long-term trespassing doesn't magically create ownership. Courts decide easements, not HOA newsletters. And that smile of hers flickered just for a second, which told me everything. Still, she doubled down. Suggested compensation. Basically offered to rent my own land back to me through the HOA. That's when I laughed, not nicely either. Told her I wasn't negotiating, I was ending it. That's when the tone shifted. Smile gone, voice colder. Threats about fines, assessments, possible legal action. She expected intimidation to work, probably had for years. But intimidation only works if the other person wants to avoid a fight. And honestly, by then I didn't. Letters started showing up next, official-looking envelopes claiming I violated HOA policies I never agreed to from an HOA I never joined. Fines stacked up fast, hundreds, then thousands for restricting community access. Absolute fiction, but the kind that scares people if they don't know better. I ignored them. Silence drives bullies crazy. Couple days later, HOA board members appeared at my driveway edge, not stepping on the property, just hovering like vultures, talking about easement reviews, shared usage rights, legal escalation. I told them clearly, step on my land again and it becomes trespassing, period. They left, but not defeated, just regrouping. And that's when the twist hit. The moment this story stopped being about entitled neighbors and started being about something a whole lot uglier. A real estate agent called me. Cheerful guy named Greg. Thought I was interested in buying one of the new premium lots in Oak Ridge Estates. Specifically ones with access to exclusive community trails. I told him I already owned land there. Silence. Paper shuffling. Then he read the address of those community trails. My address. Turns out the HOA hadn't just been letting people use my land, they'd been advertising it, selling access to it, including it in promotional materials for new buyers. Photos of my fields on their website labeled private HOA recreational space. That wasn't entitlement anymore. That was fraud. Before I could even process it fully, workers showed up on my property. Lawn equipment, signposts, landscaping supplies. One guy mowing another installing a "Welcome to Oak Ridge Private Trails HOA Members Only" sign. I didn't yell, didn't argue. Just took photos, videos, names, timestamps. Because once something crosses into criminal territory, emotion becomes less useful than evidence. Then I did what honestly should have happened from day one. I built a fence. Not decorative, not symbolic. Industrial-grade steel reinforced posts, cameras locked gate the works. I closed every shortcut they'd been exploiting. The day it finished, I made coffee, sat on my porch, waited. Karen showed up right on schedule, red-faced, flanked by board members rattling the fence like it personally offended her existence. Said I couldn't block community access. That's when I handed her the cease and desist order. Trespassing, fraudulent real estate claims, unauthorized commercial use of private land, all documented. Then I told her the lawsuit was already filed. And something changed in her face right there, not anger, fear. Because suddenly the power dynamic flipped. She wasn't the enforcer anymore. She was the defendant. The investigation that followed uncovered way more than I expected. Financial records, forged signatures, HOA funds quietly disappearing. My land wasn't her only scheme, just the one that finally triggered scrutiny. Neighbors who'd defended her before started filing their own complaints. Lawsuits multiplied. The HOA board fractured under pressure. Within weeks, the whole association collapsed. And Karen, she didn't just lose her position. Court found fraud, embezzlement, falsified property claims, real criminal charges. Not HOA drama, actual prison time. I'll never forget walking out of that courthouse. Air felt lighter somehow. No fines, no fake authority, no strangers treating my backyard like a public park. Just quiet again, the kind I paid for in the first place. Here's the part nobody tells you, though, the lesson that sneaks up later, not during the fight. Power without accountability always drifts toward abuse. Not always intentionally, sometimes just because nobody pushes back. And silence, whether from fear, convenience, or politeness, lets bad behavior grow roots. I realized I wasn't just protecting land. I was drawing a line about respect, boundaries, truth. Funny thing is, peace isn't something you buy once. Sometimes you defend it. Now, when I pass Karen's old house, empty, reputation gone, HOA dissolved, I don't feel revenge exactly. More like closure, karma maybe. Justice doing its slow, inevitable thing. Still makes me wonder, though, at what point does enforcing your rights become fighting back too hard? And when is standing your ground the only reason fairness survives at all? Curious what you think. Have you ever dealt with an HOA, entitled neighbors, or someone pushing boundaries like that? Drop your take below. Right or wrong justice or overreaction. I genuinely want to hear your stories.